Police investigate alleged murder/suicide in Georgetown. Police are investigating a tragic murder/suicide that occurred today, August 26, 2025, at Lot 199 Charlotte and Borda Street. The incident, which unfolded around 11:50 a.m., involved 36-year-old Tikadai Atia Solomon, her husband Ulroy Solomon, also 36, and their 10-year-old son. According to initial reports, Ulroy Solomon shot Tikadai multiple times before turning the gun on their son and subsequently taking his own life. The young boy was struck in the lower chest and has been taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he is currently in stable condition. Investigations revealed that Tikadai and Ulroy had been living in Northeast La Penitence, but had separated due to domestic issues. Tikadai moved to the Charlotte and Borda Street address with her son approximately 2 months ago. On the day of the incident, Ulroy reportedly arrived in a black motor vehicle, registration number Guy 94, and parked in front of the apartment building. Eyewitnesses reported hearing Tikadai scream, followed by several gunshots. She was seen fleeing the yard, pursued by Ulroy, who discharged multiple rounds at her, causing her to collapse in front of the apartment. After shooting Tikadai, Ulroy turned the weapon on their son before fatally shooting himself in the head. Crime scene investigators recovered a 9mm pistol, along with a magazine containing 6 live rounds and additional evidence at the scene. Tikadai sustained multiple gunshot wounds, including 2 to her right abdomen, 1 to her right index finger, 1 to her left arm, 2 to her chest, 2 to her forehead, 1 to her right hip, and 1 to her right leg. Ulroy was found in a pool of blood with a gunshot wound to his temple. The bodies of Tikadai and Ulroy Solomon have been transported to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home, pending post-mortem examinations. Investigations into this tragic incident are ongoing. 3 dead in fiery collision on Soesdijk-Linden Highway. News source Guyana reports, a devastating head-on collision between a heavy-duty sand truck and a canter delivery truck on the Soesdijk-Linden Highway this morning has resulted in the deaths of 3 individuals. The driver of the canter truck, identified as Lionel Campbell, was pronounced dead at the scene. Tragically, his porter, who was in the back of the truck, also lost his life when the vehicle burst into flames. The 3rd victim has been identified as the wife of the sand truck driver. The driver of the sand truck, a foreign national, survived the crash but sustained multiple injuries and has been hospitalized. Emergency medical services and police responded promptly to the scene, which is located near Lou Creek along the highway. The cause of the collision is still under investigation. However, authorities are urging drivers to exercise caution on the highway, which is currently undergoing reconstruction and features building materials in several areas. Investigations into the incident are ongoing as officials work to determine the circumstances surrounding this tragic accident. Groom sentenced to 25 years for murdering girlfriend 20 years ago. Big Smith News Watch reports, Gautier Fernandez, 53, was sentenced to 25 years in prison on August 26, 2025, for the 2002 murder of his reputed wife, Tejwani Rashini Suklal, after evading capture for over 2 decades. Justice Zamina Alisipal, who presided over the case in the High Court, initially imposed a 30-year sentence but reduced it due to mitigating factors, including Fernandez's lack of prior convictions and his behavior during 3 years of pretrial incarceration. Before the sentencing, Fernandez expressed regret and pleaded for a chance to reunite with his family. However, Justice Alisipal noted that his comments lacked genuine remorse, as he attempted to blame Suklal for the tragic incident. The judge emphasized that instead of assisting Suklal or surrendering to authorities, Fernandez fled and remained at large for 20 years, during which time he fathered 3 children with another woman while also raising 3 children with Suklal. Highlighting the alarming prevalence of domestic violence in Guyana, Justice Alisipal stated that the sentence served both as punishment and a deterrent, asserting that Fernandez continues to pose a danger to society. The murder occurred on January 26, 2002, when Fernandez ambushed Suklal on a dam in the Little Diamond squatting area, East Bank Demerara, slashing her throat. He also attacked a female friend of Suklal, injuring her hand before she managed to escape. Following the murder, Fernandez fled to Soesdijk and later to Onderneming, Essequibo, where he began a new relationship and had 3 more children. In June 2022, he was on the verge of marrying his new partner when police, acting on a tip-off, arrested him at the church just before the ceremony. Initially denying involvement in Suklal's death, Fernandez later confessed and pleaded guilty on August 6, 2025, leading to his sentencing this week. Ministry of Health rejects claims of patient death due to lack of oxygen at Lima Hospital. The Ministry of Health has strongly refuted reports claiming that a patient died at Lima Regional Hospital due to a lack of oxygen. The management of the hospital, located in the Pomarun-Supinam region, addressed these allegations following the tragic passing of a 19-year-old male patient on August 23, 2025. Regional Health Officer, RHO, Dr. Ranjiv Singh, labeled the circulating social media reports as false and malicious. He emphasized that claims regarding an absence of oxygen and suggestions of the hospital's unpreparedness are baseless. According to Dr. Singh, the deceased had a long-standing medical history of sickle cell disease, which had led to frequent hospital admissions over the years. Recently, the patient was suspected of having leukemia and had been referred to the Georgetown Public Hospital Hematology Clinic, but did not follow through with the referral. On August 23, the patient was transferred from Oscar Joseph District Hospital in Charity to Lima Regional Hospital in critical condition, exhibiting symptoms such as fever, nosebleeds, jaundice, and dark brown urine, indicative of severe complications related to his underlying condition. Dr. Singh reported that shortly after admission at 9:25 p.m., the patient developed acute respiratory distress and low oxygen saturation. Medical staff promptly initiated emergency interventions, including oxygen therapy, CPR, defibrillation, and the administration of emergency medications. Despite these efforts, resuscitation attempts were unsuccessful, and the patient was pronounced dead at 10:52 p.m. The RHO assured the public that oxygen was available at Lima Regional Hospital and that the medical team acted swiftly and professionally. He stressed that the unfortunate outcome resulted from the patient's advanced and critical medical condition, not from negligence or a lack of resources. Dr. Singh urged the community not to be swayed by sensational and misleading reports, which can create panic and undermine public confidence in the healthcare system. The Ministry of Health remains committed to transparency, accountability, and enhancing healthcare delivery throughout Region 2 and across Guyana. GCOM CEO clarifies authority of party agents during polling station operations. Chief Elections Officer, CEO, of the Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM, Vishnu Prasad, has clarified that political party representatives do not have the authority to suspend or halt operations at polling stations. This statement follows a recent incident involving a Partnership for National Unity, APNU, agent Carol Smith-Joseph, who disrupted voting by members of the Discipline Services on August 22. During a press conference on Monday, Prasad addressed the situation where Smith-Joseph was seen on video stating, "Voting will stop because I will not allow the voting to take place because it is my interest and my party's interest." Her objections focused on the arrangement of voting compartments, which she claimed hindered her ability to monitor the use of cell phones inside the booths. Prasad firmly reiterated that the responsibility for polling station operations lies solely with GCOM. No stakeholder has any authority to stop the operations of a polling station, he asserted. In response to concerns regarding cell phone use at polling booths, GCOM has implemented a complete ban to protect the secrecy of the ballot and prevent potential vote-selling schemes. Clear signage will be displayed at polling stations, and voters will be required to switch off their phones before entering the voting area. Designated tables will also be provided for voters to leave their devices while casting their ballots. Despite these measures, images of ballots from the Discipline Services vote surfaced online. Prasad acknowledged that GCOM had seen the photos but could not confirm their origin or authenticity. He noted that any violations observed during the voting process would be documented by polling staff and reported to the police after the elections. Prasad also recognized that some voting compartments were not optimally positioned, which limited visibility for accredited agents while ensuring voter privacy. He assured that pictorial guidelines would be issued to standardize the arrangement of compartments across the country. This is the first time such a measure has been implemented, so it is a testing ground for us, he explained, adding that lessons learned from the Disciplined Services vote would help enhance arrangements for the upcoming general and regional elections on September 1st. On Election Day, deputy returning officers will be responsible for enforcing the rules, including the ban on cell phones and the proper setup of voting compartments. Persaud emphasized that while party agents have a role in observing the process, the final authority over polling operations rests exclusively with GICM. Police investigation into fraudulent ID application continues. The Guyana Elections Commission, GICM, is cooperating with the police in an ongoing investigation into a fraudulent application for a Guyanese identification card, ID. Chief Elections Officer Vishnu Persaud reported that the police have collected statements and are seeking legal advice from the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP. The issue arose when an individual used another person's registration details to apply for a replacement ID and change of address, altering the legitimate registrant's information without consent. The fraud was discovered after the affected registrant noticed unauthorized changes on the official list of electors, OLE, and reported it to GICM. An internal investigation revealed non-compliance with established procedures at a registration office in Region 4. GICM stated that registration staff could not adequately explain their actions. Remedial measures were taken, including reversing the unlawful transactions, and the fraudulent ID card, still in GICM's possession, is set to be destroyed. High Court hears arguments on constitutionality of ballot exclusion for Forward Guyana movement. News source Guyana reports. Attorneys clashed in the High Court today over the exclusion of the Forward Guyana movement, FGM, and the Assembly for Liberty, ALP, from ballots in 5 electoral districts. The Guyana Elections Commission, GICM, contends that without a list of candidates for specific constituencies, a party cannot be represented on the ballot. Attorney Vivian Williams, representing FGM candidate Crystal Hadassah Fisher, argued that GICM's exclusionary practice is discriminatory and unconstitutional. In a lengthy presentation lasting nearly 2 hours, Williams asserted that GICM's actions violate the fundamental right of Guyanese citizens to vote. He described the procedure that omits certain parties from ballots in regions 1, 2, 7, 8, and 9 as an unnecessary burden that dilutes the value of votes. Williams emphasized that registered voters in some regions are being offered a limited selection of parties, while others enjoy broader options. What GICM is doing is creating a situation where some regions just have basic access, while others have premium access, leading to unequal citizens, he stated. He argued that this discrepancy undermines the democratic process and is a violation of both the Constitution and the Representation of the People Act. To bolster his claims, Williams cited several constitutional articles, highlighting the importance of equal access to voting. In response, attorney Arudranath Gasai, representing GICM, rejected Williams' arguments. He maintained that GICM operates within the bounds of the Constitution and the Representation of the People Act. Gasai asserted that GICM is not infringing on anyone's right to vote, as it is mandated to include only those parties that have submitted candidate lists for specific electoral districts. He pointed out that the Forward Guyana movement had opted not to submit lists for regions 7, 8, and 9, thus disqualifying itself from appearing on the ballots in those areas. If you choose not to field a list of candidates in the geographic constituency, how are you blaming GICM for that? He asked. Gasai further questioned how FGM would extract names for potential seats if it were included on the ballots, given their lack of a candidate list. If you don't have a list, you can't go on the ballot, he concluded. The court deliberations highlighted the ongoing legal complexities surrounding electoral representation in Guyana, and the decision will have significant implications for the upcoming elections. The case underscores the critical balance between electoral processes and the rights of political parties and voters alike. Guyana Defense Force signs agreement with Colombia for enhanced aerial surveillance. The Guyana Defense Force, GDF, has officially signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with the National Defense Ministry of Colombia, aimed at bolstering collaboration in aerial surveillance and regional security efforts. The agreement focuses on enhancing cooperation to monitor and safeguard airspace, particularly in countering illicit activities and improving situational awareness. According to a press release from the GDF, both countries will share expertise and resources to better detect and respond to various threats. Chief of Defense Staff Brigadier Omar Khan emphasized the significance of this partnership in advancing Guyana's defense agenda. He stated that the MOU will enhance the GDF's capacity to protect the nation's sovereignty while contributing to a safer and more secure region. General Luis Carlos Córdoba Avendano, commander of the Colombian Aerospace Force, underscored the importance of regional partnerships in tackling common challenges. He highlighted the benefits of increased cooperation, information sharing, and coordination between the two nations. The MOU is expected to facilitate technical exchanges, training opportunities, and the implementation of advanced systems to support surveillance and rapid response operations. For the GDF, this agreement represents a significant milestone in its modernization efforts and its ongoing commitment to national and regional security. U.S. orders additional naval forces to southern Caribbean amid drug cartel threats. In a move aimed at countering threats posed by Latin American drug cartels, the United States has ordered more naval ships to the southern Caribbean, according to two sources familiar with the deployment. The USS Lake Erie, a guided missile cruiser, and the USS Newport News, a nuclear-powered fast attack submarine, are expected to arrive in the region by early next week. The sources, who requested anonymity, did not disclose specific details regarding the missions but indicated that the deployments are part of efforts to address national security threats from designated narco-terrorist organizations. This recent deployment follows the earlier announcement of an amphibious squadron headed to the southern Caribbean, which includes the USS San Antonio, USS Iwo Jima, and USS Fort Lauderdale. These vessels, carrying approximately 4,500 service members, including 2,200 Marines, were anticipated to reach the coast of Venezuela as early as Sunday. President Donald Trump has made the crackdown on drug cartels a central focus of his administration, linking it to broader goals of limiting migration and enhancing border security. In February, the administration designated Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, along with other drug gangs and the Venezuelan criminal group Tren de Aragua, as global terrorist organizations, intensifying immigration enforcement against alleged gang members. As U.S. naval forces prepare for deployment, the government continues to prioritize strategies to combat the influence of drug cartels in the region.